Hello and welcome to my podcast. We are talking about sex today, but not just any sex, casual sex. So, this is actually something that I have not engaged in for quite some time. I've been in a committed relationship for nearly 6 years now, but it did start as casual sex. And there are some things that I would do differently, and advice I wish I'd taken on, especially because I was 18, which is young. And I know that a lot of people are having casual sex. Whether you're single or in a polyamorous or open relationship, whatever the case might be, a lot of people are having casual sex. So, this is some advice that I wish I'd taken on and advice that you may benefit from as well yourself. So I'm not the biggest promoter of casual sex, but I'm not here to make anyone's decisions for them. And if that's something that you choose, I'm here to support you in the ways that I can so you can have the best possible casual sex experiences. So the first thing to think about is, the first thing is to be aware that sex is an exchange of energy. A sacred energy exchange, if you want to use it as an acronym. So it's important that you protect your energy. Do you know who you're sleeping with? If you know this person because it's a situationship, that's going to give you a better idea of the kind of energy that you're taking on than if it is a complete stranger. And if you don't know them, you run the risk of giving your energy to someone who is an absolute asshole and taking on their asshole energy. And you're allowing that kind of person access to your body. Some people don't care, some people just want to have fun. Fair enough, but it's just something to think about. And you're also taking on the energy of their other sexual partners as well. So again, just something to think about. Whether it bothers you or not, that's your business. So I'd say the most important thing is safety. Does somebody know where you are? I had that Life 360 app on my phone, so you know the app where it shows your location when I was going to meet my current partner. I wasn't going for sex, I was just going to his house, which I would not recommend it when you first meet someone on any kind of dating site. Don't go straight to their house because it's not the most safe. But anyway, I had my friend download the app, so she had access to my location. She knew where I was going beforehand. She knew what time. Safety is the most important thing because you are putting yourself at risk if you are just going to meet a stranger in a stranger's house. And you're at more risk if you're a woman, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. And safety in regard to STDs as well. I don't care if you are on hormonal contraception, if you're on the pill, the implant, the coil, it doesn't prevent STDs. Even if this person says, yeah, I've been tested and I'm clean, you don't know if they're lying, and you don't know if they've had unprotected sex with other people since. Even protected sex, it's not 100%. So again, it's that risk of taking on STDs as well if you are not being careful and using condoms. Now, I would say that when it comes to having casual sex, know your reasons and think about if it's something that you actually want. Really pin down what it is you want. Because if you're looking for casual sex because you enjoy sex, you just want to have fun and experience different people, have different sexual experiences with different people, and learn what you like through other people, or masturbation just is not hitting the spot and you feel like you need a connection with someone in order to have that sexual satisfaction, I would say take what I've already said on board, but go for it. If you already know the risks and you just want to have fun with other people, go for it. But if your reasons are because you're lonely, you want a connection, you feel like you're missing out because you're not having sex, or it gives you some sort of validation, you absolutely run the risk of getting hurt, because to me, that does not sound like you want casual sex. It sounds like you want something deeper and more meaningful, but there's something holding you back from pursuing that. Whether it's the fear of heartbreak or rejection or commitment, or there's a feeling that you're chasing and you think you can get that through casual sex. If any of these things are the case, you need to do some inner work, because sex simply won't bring you these things. If you want these things and have casual sex, it's possible that you'll feel even worse after. And if your feelings get involved, which casual sex, it does run the risk of you developing feelings and wanting something more. If you are in this state of mind, you will possibly get hurt. So know your reasons before going into it, and really be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself, because again, that won't really bring you to where you want to be emotionally, and it won't give you what you want. And listen to your intuition. If you are in a situation that doesn't feel right and you just know it in your gut, you don't even have a specific reason, get yourself out of that situation safely. And if you are talking to someone and you get a bad feeling, or if you change your mind about having sex, you can change your mind. Always listen to your gut, because especially with sex, it is a very vulnerable experience, and you don't want to expose yourself to something that you don't actually want to do. And I don't want you to do something just because you feel like you have to. And it is really important to understand consent and what that really means. So consent is a 100% yes. If you're not sure and you do something, or you allow someone to do something to you anyway, it is possible and even probable that you will feel violated, whether that person had any bad intentions or not. Because if you don't say something, they probably won't know. They might not be able to pick up on your discomfort, especially if this casual sexual partner is someone who you don't know very well, or if it's a one-night stand. They possibly don't know you very well and don't understand you and your personal cues well, especially if you try to hide your discomfort. So you can say no or stop at any point, even during sexual acts. It doesn't matter what point in sex that you are. You can say no. You are not obligated to keep going just because you started. And this is why you need to know your boundaries. What are you comfortable with and what are you not comfortable with? Every single person has different boundaries, and no one will know your boundaries unless you communicate with them. And it can be as simple as saying stop, or I don't want to do this. Something that makes it very, very clear to the other person that this is where you draw the line. And your boundaries can change, and you can change your mind. Nothing is set in stone. But please, if anything, feel comfortable expressing your boundaries, because that means you are doing what you can to ensure your safety of yourself and your feelings and your emotions. Because if you do not put those boundaries up and say, look, I don't feel comfortable doing this, the other person won't know, and you don't want that person to do something to you that you don't want to do. And more common than not, so that partner that you're with, they don't want to do something to you that you don't enjoy. Most people don't want to do that. So that is why communication is so, so important. And that is why it's so important to understand consent as well. And of course, allowing the other person to express their boundaries and respecting that. And obviously getting consent from the other person too. But it's also important to communicate your intentions and tell your sexual partner what your intentions are. Are you looking for a long-term or short-term casual sex partner? Because different people want different things, even when it comes to casual sex. And not everyone wants a one-night stand, and not everyone wants a friend with benefits. If you do have a longer-term sex partner though, it can give you more time to feel comfortable with someone, and it can make you feel more free and open and comfortable with experimenting. And there's also that element of safety and security there, because when you know the person you're sleeping with, the sexual experiences often get better because you've developed some kind of a connection. Now, I am aware that not everybody wants casual sex longer term, well, with a longer term partner for this reason, because they don't want to develop a deeper connection, because they have fear that emotions might arise. And again, if you feel like this could be you, maybe go back to asking yourself what it is that you really want. And it's always something that you need to revisiting your intentions, how you're feeling, but we'll get to that a bit later. And be completely honest about what you want with your partner, with this sexual partner or a potential sexual partner, because you would expect the same from them. And if you lie to someone because you're scared that they will not want the same thing as you, or that they'll judge you, you're doing a disservice not only to yourself by not expressing your true desires, but also to them, because they actually might be looking for what you want. And then because you've lied about it, the other person goes, oh, well, this isn't what I want. And then they go and find that elsewhere. And don't act cold with someone just so they don't want more from you, because that is still a form of manipulation. You're not being true and honest and authentic. And that's not fair on the other person, because that can be hurtful as well. Because if you're honest about only wanting casual sex from the get-go, and that's all you want, and they start wanting more, then at least you are honest with them. And that's their feelings really are their responsibility, like your feelings are your responsibility. And it is not fair to the other person just to act cold with them, to prevent them from catching feelings, which they might not anyway. But again, just try to be thoughtful of other people's emotions, because even if it's casual, even if you're going to part ways, it's still a person. You are still being in a vulnerable position with someone. So think about how they might be feeling. And it goes the other way as well. Don't lead someone on just to get what you want from them. Again, it's manipulative and it's not kind and it's not okay, because there are plenty of people out there who want the same thing as you. You don't need to manipulate someone. And also, don't just communicate your intentions, communicate your expectations. What is it that you want from these experiences, and what are the boundaries? So, is it a thing that you will be keeping in touch after sex, or is it just a one-night stand? What about sleepovers? Are we having sex and then we we sleep together for the night, or we have sex and then go to our own places? How often is it going to happen? Is it going to be a regular thing, or is it going to be as and when? Is it appropriate to have any kind of relationship outside of just sex, like texting as friends or meeting up for non-sexual encounters? How well do you want to get to know each other? Because not everybody wants to know the person they're sleeping with. Some people like it to be purely just sex and that's it. And establishing these expectations can help you understand where you both stand and what to expect, so there are no disappointments or fewer disappointments. It's so important to be completely honest. Just because it's not a committed romantic relationship doesn't mean that you don't have any responsibility to establish what it is that's going on here. There still needs to be a level of honesty. And you're not the only one here. It takes two to tango, so you both need to be on the same page. Now, again, communication, but communication after sex. What did you enjoy? And what did you not enjoy? What did your partner enjoy and what did they not enjoy? It really helps you to get to know yourself better, but also your sexual partner better, because especially if you are in a longer term sexual relationship, it can really help make the sex even better the next time, because it can really help you understand that person and their body and what they enjoy. And it can just be such a great experience for both of you, especially when you take the time to learn. And especially if you are going into casual sex to have more experiences and to learn a little bit more about yourself and other people. You can learn more about yourself this way, but also when you tell your partner what you like, you are teaching them. And when you learn what your partner likes, they are teaching you. So even if you don't keep this sexual relationship going on forever, it can help you both be better lovers to other people in the future, because you or them, you both might have sexual partners in the future who like things that you learned from each other that you never even knew was a thing, because there's so much in sex and everyone has their own thing, and you can take these things that you've learned into other sexual relationships. And any knowledge is good knowledge, especially if you learn what someone really doesn't like. You can proceed with caution, not just with them, but with other people as well, to avoid any kind of mishaps. And we need to understand that talking about sex is as important as doing it, if not more. Because if you're just doing it and then being quiet, what are you really gaining from it, especially if you don't even enjoy the experience? Talking and communicating about what we do and don't like is the crux of what makes sex great. Because yes, you can go off body language, but until you actually verbalize what it is you do and don't like, that person doesn't know that that is a green flag necessarily, and it also doesn't give them the green flag to do other things that they haven't done before, and vice versa. So I think it's really important to to often reevaluate how you're feeling after having casual sex, because your mind can change and that's okay. But if all you're doing is having sex and then just going back to your life and not thinking about it, you don't always realize that something might not have been serving you when it was once, but now it isn't, unless you take that time to think about it or write it down. And if it's serving you in a positive way, great. But if it's depleting your energy and making you feel worse, it might be a good idea to take a step back. And you can always be open about this with your casual lover as well, so you're not ghosting them or leaving them in the dark, and they might learn something from it as well. Or they might be able to accommodate what you're needing depending on what that is, because communication is so important. If you're feeling a certain way, or if it's not serving you in a certain way, and you are open with the person you've been sleeping with about that, they might either have been feeling the same, or they might be able to, like I said, make accommodations so it can serve what it is you need now. And look, there are so many nuances when it comes to sex in general, never mind casual sex, and it can be very, very complicated. And the most common issue with casual sex, especially longer-term sexual partners, is that people catch feelings. And that in and of itself is complicated and can be painful. Casual or not casual, relationships and sex opens up a lot of opportunities for challenges. Different challenges in different scenarios, but we are not free from challenge. So don't think that just because casual sex is casual, it means it's easier and the risk for pain is lower, because it isn't. And often people get more hurt because of expectations and they haven't taken the steps, as I've mentioned in this episode. So just have some discernment and make educated choices from a place of authenticity and knowing what you want, and really standing your ground in what you want and being able to change your mind and take a step back if needed. So I really, really do hope that you can take this information with you when having casual relations and have fun, okay? Because that's really what casual sex is about. If you're not having fun when you're having sex, you're not doing it right, or something's out of alignment, or something's not right. So go and have fun and stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.